So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Sara Hoagey. You may know my husband more so than me. Todd, raise your hand. Been in automotive for a very long time, Mr. Todd Hoagey. So I've been his plus one for about 15 years, and this year he's my plus one, which is very nice. But I'd really like to get a good gauge on the audience here at CIADA. First, I want to thank the man above. I want to thank God for being here. I want to thank my husband and my family for supporting me working about 15 to 20 hours a day lately. And I want to thank Mr. Brown for inviting me to speak, so thank you. But let's talk about, not only are we in automotive, but we also do a lot of things outside of automotive. So I want to say with a raise of hands, no, I'm not going to bring you up, no, I'm not going to make you speak, no, I'm not going to make you answer any questions. But I want to say, out of everyone in this room, how many of you guys outside of automotive are first responders? Can you raise your hand for me? Anyone first responders, pastors, active or retired military? Look at that. Look at that. And I didn't know that about you. So I want to say thank you for protecting us and keeping us safe. Okay, so thank you. I also want to find out, we have a lot of experience in this room, and what they say about automotive is for every 1 year that you're in automotive is like 10 years of our life, right? So there's about 1 million years of experience right here. And I personally like to surround myself with the oldest and wisest automotive person in the room. So I want to see how many of you guys, with a raise of hands, and ladies, have been in the business for 20 years or more. 20, okay. 30 years or more. Keep your hands up, 30 years or more. Wow. Okay, 40 years or more. 40 years. Anybody more than 40 years? 40 years, right here. Samantha, hand him his gift. So this is what happens when you have a female presenter, is you get to walk around with a beautiful purple bag. And if no one knows him, this is Moses of automotive right here, okay? So thank you. I've been in automotive, this is my 23rd year. So now everyone, if you don't know him, you do. His name's Moses. There he is. So I'm here to talk about a couple different topics. One is CRM systems. And I'm going to bring you out of your comfort zone. The other is BDC, or Business Development Centers. And it's really how I started in automotive. My first day was kind of rough, like everybody else's. There's the keys, there's the cars, there's the plates, there's some type of box over there, we call it a computer. Good luck, this is your training. So that is not what I want anyone else to go through. So I hope that you guys ask me a lot of questions, because that's what I'm here for. And ask, well, we're all here together, because what happens is my email box floods, Facebook floods, I can't get back to anybody. This is the perfect opportunity for everybody to ask questions. How many of you guys use a CRM? Okay, how many of you guys are thinking maybe I should use a CRM? How many of you guys use one and you don't like it? And how many of you are thinking of maybe switching CRMs? If you're thinking about, if you don't know what a CRM is, perfect, because I'm going to talk to you about it. How many of you guys have appointment setters at your dealership? They set appointments off of internet leads for your dealership. How many of you are thinking, maybe I should have an appointment setter? Okay. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. And I want to let you know, 96% of people, 96% of people do not like change. 4% of people thrive on change. I'm one of the 4%. So I'm that crazy person that likes to thrive on constant change, checking out software, checking out what it can do for your business. But not only that, I like to connect the 4% of the crazy people to the 96%, and I like to teach them how to use it. So I'm that rapid change person that's going to drive you nuts in automotive. I also am going to tell you that I work with large groups, 20 rooftops, 40 rooftops, 120 rooftops. I also work with small groups of dealers, 1 rooftop. And I want to tell you, if you don't have processes in place, I have the 1 rooftop dealers outperform the dealers that have 20 rooftops all the time. Doesn't matter how many rooftops you have. If you don't have a set process in place and what you're doing with it, it really doesn't matter. So I'm here to tell you, I work with all different sizes of businesses, and the goal is that you have some set processes in place with how you're going to handle the communication of internet leads and telephone calls coming into your dealership. So the other thing I'm going to tell you is I put a lot of data and a lot of statistics up on here. You don't have to hurry up and write it all down. I will give this to John. You can email me for a copy of the slideshow. I have no problem handing it out to you. But really, I just want you to take something away that you may not have known before, and 2 or 3 little nuggets that you're like, I think I want to try that. I think I want to take that away. Anything that will take you out of your comfort zone just a little bit to improve your business, okay? So don't worry about writing notes. Just take a few nuggets away. Okay, and I have been told when I speak to my students, it's like sipping water out of a fire hose. So I am aware that I may do that to you this morning. Really, really sorry. I'm sure that you are all having your coffee, you were up late, having fun at the casino last night, and welcome to your 9 o'clock class. But that's kind of how it goes, so let's get started. Okay, so my past experience is I was working in banking. And I was not a banker, let's be honest, I was a bank teller. And I really wanted to become one of those floor managers, you know, 9 to 3, every holiday off, looked glamorous, looked great, except those people never leave their positions. They're really, really happy with their jobs. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I had great customers coming in, those sales consultants, and they were cashing, at the time, $10,000 checks. Sara, put $5,000 in this envelope, that's for me. Put this $5,000 in my envelope for my wife, that's what she knows about, that I bring home. And we had a great relationship. I made a lot of great friends, and that's how I was recruited. I bought a car through autotrader.com. And I made the salesperson come to the bank to sell it to me. Then I told him I had a trade, so I was that nightmare customer. And by the time we were done with the transaction, he said, you need to sell cars. And I go, I don't know anything about selling cars. He goes, who cares? You just schooled me. I made nothing on this deal. And now I need you to help me figure out these nightmare customers because you're one of them. So I started selling cars. And I was what was called an internet sales consultant, or cradle to grave. I could not take any walk-in traffic. I had to strictly work leads out of that thing they called a box, and I had to figure out how to sell them. And boy, what an experience that was. From there, I worked for a large dealer group in Rochester, New York, and he called me up and he said, I want you to do this for my 8 stores. So all Highline stores, which was nice. And then every couple of years, he rotated me into a new position. He said, I want to groom you for general manager. So I was a service manager for 3 years, finance manager, sales manager, general sales manager, and anywhere where he could put me with technology is where he put me, which was nice. I moved to a couple different dealerships after that. They would call me while I was sitting at my desk and go, I'll offer you some money if you come work at my dealership. My husband was one of them. Sorry, honey. And after a while, it's sitting at my desk, everyone was calling me going, how do I set up this CRM? I don't know what I'm supposed to say to these people on the phone. I don't understand how social media works, which if you guys don't know how social media works, social media is 90% of my business. Outside of repeat and referral clients, my entire business and company is generated on social media. So while I was sitting at my desk and I was kind of moonlighting, hate to say it, I said, I think I can do this full time. So I started a BDC and CRM consulting company in 2014, and a couple of years ago, I started a call center to help dealers who said, I'm so tired of training and hiring people to come in and, answer my phones and then take these internet leads. Sara, will you just do this for me? Will you just open a call center and I'll just come to you? And that's what I did. So we just, believe it or not, on the way here, we hired 6 more people. So it's very, very exciting. This is what's on the agenda today. We're going to talk about CRM systems. What's the difference between a salesperson who can take internet leads and handle them versus a BDC Agent, what is a BDC agent? What is a business development center? Do you guys know what a business development center is? And it's okay if you don't, but it's basically a whole group of people or a few people at your dealership, and their sole purpose is to respond to internet leads, handle inbound calls, handle chats, not meet with customers pretty much in the dealership, but handle all of the communication. They help develop your business. They find the customers that have equity in their cars that you have sold them in the past. Sometimes maybe not even ones that you've sold them, but they have equity in them, and you're going to go after your competitors' clients. But they help develop and keep your business. You should have repeat and referral business. Somewhere around 40% of your business should be coming back to you. So that's business development agents. And we're going to talk about the who, what, where, when, why, and how. When should you start one? Because I'm either getting people who are starting them right at the perfect time, and I have some dealers who are like, Sarah, save my business before it closes, and I have 1 month left. So I don't want you guys to be at that end of the bell curve. I want you to know when it's the right time for you guys to really consider having a CRM or a BDC. What are the metrics and the performances? What are the 4 phases, the results, best practices, and the really 4 things that you guys should take away from today? Okay, why should you use a CRM? So first of all, one of the first things I started doing when I worked for my first dealer was I was taking all these internet leads by fax machine. How many of you guys are still getting leads by fax machine or into your email inbox, but they're not really organized? It's okay. Anybody in here like, okay, that's okay. That's how I started. So it's all right. But a CRM, first of all, the most important thing about a CRM is that it protects you. It has all your client data in one area. And there's something called the National Do Not Call Registry. It's for those customers who say, don't ever call me again. But if you do, I want you guys to know, it's a $16,000 fine per occurrence. And you really, really have to protect yourself and your client's data. So a CRM system will do all of that for you. It's a nice way to prioritize all your activities so you know who to follow up with, how to follow up with them, what to say, what not to say. It informs you if your advertising is working, because there's nothing worse than advertising with a company that's not effectively working for you. On the estimate, there are some CRM systems that are $500 a month. I work with some that are $5,000 a month. On the average, it's 1 car sale a month, and it will pay you back, okay? And I'm certified with 8, so if you have questions about what should I use, what shouldn't I use, feel free to ask me outside of the class, it's fine. It will help you deduplicate your leads, because let's face it, we all have those nightmare customers. They put a lead in through AutoTrader. Next minute, their wife is calling you with the same last name. She calls you. The next minute, their son is putting a chat through your website. One person's walking in. They're all shopping you on the same car. You guys know, how many of you guys have it, like just about every day? The same person puts in a lead through AutoTrader, Cars.com, your website. They're trying to do everything they can. This system can deduplicate that and find these nightmare customers all at once. There's some email and text message automation with these systems. You can put telephone scripts in there to help your staff know what to say and what not to say. And then there's something called mass text message integration, and that's where you can text message clients all at once. Here's a statistic: 99% of all text messages are read. 15% of emails are read. So if you have to choose between texting and emailing, you're going to want to go with texting. And this is a way to keep you compliant. I want you to know texting from your cell phone is not compliant, and you could be part of that fine. So you really, really have to protect yourself. When you're texting someone, you have to include your business name, who you are, and you have to identify yourself. And on an initial text, you have to put reply stop to opt out. If not, you could be really holding yourself open for liability, okay? So we're going to talk about performance metrics and goals. There's a lot of data right here. It's like, good morning, Sarah. I spent way too much time at the casino last night. There's a lot of data here. So these are some of the performance metric goals that you're going to want so that your agents, so that your dealership is successful. And this is if you have an appointment coordinator doing it, a BDC agent, it's the same thing. Appointment coordinators and business development center agents are the same thing. Or if you have a salesperson, what you're going to want them to do, okay? They have to get back really, really quick. They have to have a live connection rate of 60%. So anytime you have a new lead, they have to try and get in touch with them at least 60% of the time. Inbound call capture rate. You want to, on a phone call, this is why you have designated people to do this job, get a first name, last name, phone number, email address, and guess what? If you ask for it, 90% of the time you're going to get it. The hard part is we just don't ask. So if you ask, 90% of the time you're going to get it, and only 10% of the time are they going to give you bad information. Okay? That's why the number's 80%. You should attempt to contact 100% of all of your internet leads. And on outbound calls, there comes a point where you're like, I really shouldn't be following up with this person anymore because your connection rate kind of drops right off. In used cars, I happen to know that after about 2 weeks, you're pretty much done with that person if you haven't had any live connection with them. And I do have rates for buy here, pay here, subprime, prime. There's different appointment set ratios. How am I going to get this person to come into my dealership? And it's much harder to get a buy here, pay here client to get in the door versus someone that really has that cash. Buy here, pay here clients want to know if they're approved before they even walk in the door. 50%. It doesn't matter what your number is down here. I think I got a little pointer here. Down here. But if you book an appointment, 50% of them of the time they should show. And I know that seems low, but we'll talk about it. You should be able to confirm your appointments 50% of the time. If you're like, my people are not coming in for my appointment, A, you didn't call them or text them to confirm the appointment. B, you didn't email them directions to get to your dealership. I just had a doctor who didn't text, call, or email me how to get there. His complex has 5 buildings that all look the same. I got there, I couldn't figure out which building to go into, and then none of them were numbered. I was like, which one is it? Where am I going? I was lost for 15 minutes. I got scolded. Actually, my husband got scolded at, but got scolded at because they never text, emailed, or called me to tell me exactly where to go. And that's how your customers feel if you're not telling them how to get to your dealership. You should be selling about 50% of the people that walk in. USST is unsold showroom traffic. You can generate business just by calling the people back who left your dealership, and I want to tell you it's within 2 hours. If they leave and they don't buy from you, if you call them within 2 hours, A, I guarantee you they're already at your next dealership. They're already at your competitor's place, right? He's laughing. He's like, that's me. That just happened. But 75% of them will come back and buy from you. So call them within 2 hours, and 75% of the time, you can save that deal. And on chat, I mean, time is of the essence, time kills deals, right? Chat, you have to, if someone's hopping in to chat with you through Facebook Messenger or through your website, you have to have a 15-second response time. So it's kind of hard. So I just want to let you know, this is what the expectations of our society are right now. So we've talked a little bit about a business development center, and you don't have to go all in all at once. What I do want to tell you is find out what your peak telephone and internet lead hours are and start there first. And then as that continues on and grows, you can grow your staff with that too. I will tell you, if you are going to have someone start answering internet leads in the morning, start it at 8 a.m. You can legally start calling at 8 a.m. in the morning, and you will beat your competitors because most of them start at 9. And he who speaks to the customer first wins. So have them start at 8 a.m. My call center starts at 7:30. We make sure that they are on the phones, ready to go, their headsets work so that they can start dialing at 8:01. So here's the pros and cons. So you're talking to somebody who was an internet sales consultant. And I loved it. I got to take in all these fresh internet leads. I got to meet the person after I talked to them 25 times by email. Texting wasn't really big in '99. I spoke with them on the phone. I was going to their homes and their works and their business places. We were going all over the place to sell people cars. So I was an internet sales consultant, and I suddenly started hearing this term, business development center agent, and I was like, well, who would use one of those? I'm certified in a product. I know my product. I was certified to sell Fords, but I had one main problem. As I was on test drives with my customers, people were texting me and calling me. You didn't get back to me fast enough. I went somewhere else. And I was losing deals. I didn't have time for my repeat and my referral clients because I had 80 to 100 internet leads I had to handle on top of my repeat and my referral clients. Social media hadn't really started at that time, and I definitely would not have had time for that. So I'm going to go through some of the pros and cons of my life, basically, as an internet sales consultant. First, if you do decide an internet sales consultant is only a sales consultant, that's all they do, is cradle to grave, is handle internet leads, and they meet with those customers that come into the dealership. They mainly don't take any walk-in traffic. They're really, really busy handling your internet and maybe your telephone leads. They can only handle about 80 leads a month. We can do about 70 communications a day. I will tell you, I was very burned out. I was working about 6 to 7 days a week. We know our product. The nice part about the client is they get one point of contact, so they don't have to work with 10 different people at the dealership. They have one point of contact, which was me. I had the ability to take photos and take videos of a car and send it out to a client. But this is what I found. I was like, oh, I'm so ineffective. I'm losing deals because I can't text message and call back. I'm on these test drives. If I saw a customer who said, 2 o'clock works for me, Sarah, I'm like, oh, doesn't work for me. I have delivery at that time. I would reschedule it because that's what was convenient for me, but it wasn't convenient for the customer. And then those customers wouldn't show up. I no longer needed to prospect. I didn't need social media because I had 80 more leads coming in the next month. Your salespeople should be salespeople. They should be prospecting, have their own book of business, and if 90% of my business is done from social media, if you don't have salespeople who have their own social media, they're missing out on an entire book of business that they could be bringing to your dealerships. Let's see here. Now it became even more difficult. There was text messaging, there was Facebook Messenger, there's chat. There's so many different ways that people like to communicate. It's very, very hard for me to keep up with all of that, is what I really noticed. The onboarding process for an internet sales consultant, especially in a franchise dealership, was about 3 to 6 months. It took us forever to get somebody to really understand how to do the job. And you really need some high quality candidates. And let's face it, how many people are like, I'm finding the best people in the market right now. I mean, the quality of the people. I can really find some high-end people right now. I know I'm very sarcastic, so welcome to that first thing in the morning. But you need to find high quality people who know how to use computers, understand technology, teach it to your clients, teach it to the rest of the staff, and then you have to pray that they don't leave you, right? And sometimes they hold you hostage, because I have a couple of dealers in hostage situations right now. So this is the difference between what I call an appointment coordinator and a BDC agent. The pros is they can handle 200 unique opportunities a month. They could handle double the workload than what I could handle. They were my personal assistant, so they would book appointments. It was what was convenient for the customer, not necessarily what was convenient for me. They could do double the tasks per day. They could do calls and texts and emails. Nothing would get dropped because they'd still be at the desk while I was out test driving cars with clients. They had full coverage of hours. So our call center, we have a 24/7 call center, but they had full coverage of hours. Someone was always in the seat to help those people, so I didn't have to worry about missing out on the time. We could recruit. So I really like appointment centers, BDC centers, because you're all finding quality people you can just put right into those sales seats right now, right? If you have a little hub, I call this your training center. If they can figure out computers, how to handle the phone, how to answer internet leads for your dealership, they're the perfect training center for your dealership so that you can grow. They focus on the customer's availability instead of mine. And I don't know if you guys know this, it takes about 8 attempts for you to reach a client before there's a lot of engagement. So you have to make like a lot of communication effort outbound in order for them to engage. And that's a lot of work for just a salesperson to do around customers that are walking in. I also noticed, what was I going to do if I called in? Who was going to answer these internet leads for me? No, I'm sick, I'm out, God forbid, COVID right now. So if I'm out, who's going to handle all of this because I wasn't around? Well, now we have somebody, that's their dedicated job to do that. And not only that, but if you have multiple locations, there's one thing I'm going to recommend. If you have multiple locations, it's easier to put everybody in one area and have them all work together than it is to separate them out. Is there anyone in here that has more than one location? Okay. If you do decide to do that, I am going to recommend that you centralize everybody and keep them together. If not, you need more people. The cons for business development centers is sometimes it's really hard to figure out how profitable they are. At the end of the day, by the time I'm done paying these people, did I get a good return on investment or didn't I? And I do have a profit report that can help out with that. Clients are going to work your appointment setter or your agent against your salesperson to figure out who can I get a better deal from. So I'm going to work you both and not have you know. You have to monitor them because I have the same issue in my call center. Sara, I made 50 calls today. I'm like, no, you made 5. You have to measure them. You have to hold them accountable to make sure that they're doing the work that they should be doing. They're going to take up some real estate and some space and equipment. You might have some employees that like to have them be the gopher for coffee. So they might be used to do something that's totally not related to call center work. And you have to figure out who's going to train this person. Can I train this person? I don't even know how to use the CRM. The call I get very frequently is, Sara, I don't know how to use my CRM enough to show somebody else how to use my CRM. So the appointment confirmation process is so important because for a BDC agent, they're going to talk about why should a customer do business with you? They don't just try to sell the car. How many of you guys have some extra stuff that you guys give away with your cars? Do you guys give away a warranty? Do any of you guys give away a warranty, an oil change? They're going to talk about that type of stuff to the customer so that the customer knows why should they buy a car from you instead of your competitor down the road. They're going to reschedule your unsold showroom traffic people who just left within 2 hours. They're going to call those missed appointments. And I want to be very specific. My poor agents, a lot of them that I've trained and worked with, you're just an appointment setter. You're just this. You're just a secretary. Sara, that receptionist. They're just booking appointments, and it's just like a dentist office. People, if someone doesn't show up to their automotive appointment, we don't get to charge them $50 like a dentist and like a doctor's office. It's not like that. It's not similar to a doctor's and dentist appointment. And I like it. Another dealer said, well, Sara, can't we just call it a reservation? A reservation? Are you serving them a steak when they show up? This is not a reservation. That's what you go to a restaurant for. This is an appointment, okay? And they don't find it as serious as they would as their dentist and doctor's appointments. Here's the other thing. How many businesses do you know, how many dentist and doctor's offices do you know where your doctor is answering the phone? Jimmy, so great to hear from you. Let's book you an appointment. How come you don't? Because they're not good at it. That's why they're good at working on your teeth and fixing your joints and all of our health problems. They are not good at answering the phone. So you have to have someone who is professional, who can collect all that data to get it into your CRM system, Because God forbid your dentist was answering your dental phone call, you'd never make it there. And you'd definitely be there on the wrong day, for sure. Okay, so here's an example of some BDC Agent Metrics. Again, I will email this to you. John will always have a copy. I just want to show you, this is what a BDC agent can handle. They can handle about 200 leads. Their average response time during your business hours is around 10 minutes. They can set around 100 appointments. I know that doesn't seem like a lot. They will confirm, they should confirm 50%. If you have agents and they're not here, then let's have a talk after this class. 50% of them should show. Hopefully you're selling at least 25 of those, but most importantly, they can handle 3,500 activities a month. They can call, text, and email, and the average person should do about 3,500 a month. If they're not, let's have a conversation after this. Plus, they're also working 30, 60, and 90-day-old clients. I could not do that as an internet salesperson. I was too busy handling the stuff that was directly in front of me, and I had to get a flat. I had to get to at least 12 units a month is what my flat was. There's different options that you can have. So if you're like, you know what, Sarah, this is way too much work, you can outsource it. They call it all the same thing. If you hear the term managed services, a virtual BDC, an outsourced BDC, it's all the same thing. It's a virtual call center or virtual BDC agents that are not in your dealership. That's my company. We can handle all of that and you don't have to worry about it. The only downside is, for me, is if you want to grow your company and you want a training center, you will miss out on that opportunity. That's it. And if you're going to centralize or decentralize your agents, you can decentralize if you have different locations in different states. But if they're like side by side in the same state, put all of your agents all in one area for coverage. Because if one calls in sick, you're going to need the other one to help out. So keep all your agents centralized together. So there's different phases of when you need to figure out when you're going to be, if you decide you want a BDC or if you decide you want appointment coordinators. And I want to go through those phases with you. This is where you should be doing it here, along the left-hand side. When you're in upward growth. If you're panicking going, Sarah, as I'm sitting here, I'm handling internet leads. I'm stressed out. I can't take a vacation. I can't take a vacation because who's going to answer my internet leads if I do? If you're on that upward growth part, you need to really start thinking about it. If you're saying, Sarah, I'm about to close my doors because I'm a hot mess and I can't get my act together, don't call me here, okay? Because it's really hard for me to fix everything that just happened on the downward spiral. I just had one. Sarah, you have 3 weeks to fix this. I'm like, I can't fix what you have already done. Like, it's pretty much done. Like, I am not the rescue mission here. So really, really decide. I'm going to tell you, you're right about here. When you're stressed out and you want to like pull the last hair out on your head because you're like, I just got 20 more leads in overnight and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, how am I going to get back to all these people? Then it's time. So here's the 4 phases. This seems like a lot of data. Don't worry. We can send it to you by email. Plus, I know you guys all had a good time last night at casino night. So there is a lot of data here. Too close. Okay. Can you hear me? Did I cut myself out? I knocked myself out. Did I? Okay. Here's the thing. I notice a lot of things depend on your inventory. And if you guys don't know this, you will. For every car you have in stock, if you're advertising on a few different websites, you'll get 5 internet leads for 1 car. You'll probably get another 3 to 5 leads by phone for that car. So for 1 car, 10 different points of communication or 10 opportunities. So if you're small, you probably don't need anything yet. You're probably handling everything through your cell phone. You don't need something called a dealer management system, DMS. You're probably not too concerned about how your online reputation is. You probably have a couple good scores. Life is good. I don't see a lot of stress here. But The minute that you have an inventory size of 19 to 20, that's when I see, okay, what's going on? How many of you guys have an inventory of right around that amount of units on your lot? 19, 20? Okay. How many have more than that? Okay. So you guys, there's some people in here that we got, it's time. How many people have more than 50? Okay. So this is when you have to decide, is it time for me to CRM? Is it time for me to BDC? What I am going to tell you is, in the intermediate phase, that's when you really need to have a CRM. You have about 19 units. You have 100 opportunities a month. These are unique opportunities. This isn't the same person putting in a lead 5 times to different websites. You probably need a few people, business lines. You're probably trying to figure out, how's my online reputation looking? Shortly after that, it's like you get a CRM system, and 3 months later, you're like, I need somebody else to handle this because I don't know how to use the CRM system, and it's way too complicated. Now I need to find someone who can help me with that. And it's usually shortly after that that I see people going, Sara, I just got a CRM. I don't know how to work it. I think I need somebody to help me. That's usually right in this time frame right here. And you will need to have some automation, reputation management. There's software out there that can ask your customers to give you great reviews automatically. You don't even have to ask them. Technology, and you need some type of digital advertising strategy. And you need a software that's going to measure that for you. When you're large, you need just about all of it. You're like, I need an IT company, I need some help, I need a DMS, I need something that manages my inventory, tells me what it's worth, tells me if what I'm selling is priced right, pushes it to all of my different vendors for advertising. You really, really should have everything when you're over 50 units because of the amount of internet leads you're probably taking in. Here's point number 1. If you're going to take anything away from today's session, take this away. For every lead that comes in to your dealership, everything is based on process. Make sure that you have a 25% lead to visit ratio. That's what your goal is. That's it. I get, Sara, I want to know all the measurements and statistics and the figures and the data, and at the end, I say, how many leads do you get? How many are unique? How many people are visiting your dealership? That's it. Because how many people visit your dealership dictate how many sales you're going to have, right? And if they're not coming through the door, it doesn't really matter. You're not selling any cars. And I do want to implore you to do something that the larger guys aren't doing. Do something that Carvana has not done this past month that I'm aware, and that's to offer a virtual live appointment with a customer through FaceTime. There's 10 different apps you can use. But when I hear Carvana didn't even offer me the service, sorry for any Carvana people if you're in here, they didn't even offer me the service to do a live tour of the car, and I live 2 hours away, and I just wanted someone to turn on the engine with me while I was on the phone with them. You can FaceTime them. I'm going to implore you to take yourself out of your comfort zone and to do this with your customer. You will have those people find shipping, fly in, pick up the car right from your store. The nice part is I've sold one vehicle. I think my farthest destination was from New York to Hawaii. My second one was from New York to Africa. All things are possible if you put the work in. So these are the statistics, and you'll see I started at the top with 200 leads. Your appointment set ratio on buy here, pay here is lower than it is with people who have prime credit. You have to confirm the people. They have to confirm about 50% of them. Book an appointment within 48 to 72 hours. Okay? If you want the best people to show up, book them within the next 2 to 3 days. But look, I focus on visits from appointments. Additional visits. These are additional visits that came in just because you did the right thing on a follow-up process. Okay? You could just have people show up just because you answered their questions. That's it. So focus on total store visits. And from those, that's the percentage, is what you're going to see, 18 to 23 to 32, depending on how your clientele is. Focus on a 25% lead to visit ratio. Most of the time I'm working with clients right now, they're around 5 to 10%. And it's all on process. Process, process, process will dictate your deliveries. Okay, so here's some recommendations for best performance for a BDC and for appointment coordinator. Get some partitions, get some desks, get some real estate, high-speed internet. Some of you guys are really nice. You have those standing Veridesk desks, so your staff doesn't have injured backs. Get click-to-call. Click-to-call is so, believe it or not, so cheap that you can click a button and the software will make the calls for you. Get multi-area code phone numbers, because once your number is blocked by a customer, you're going to need another one, okay? So get your area code, whatever your area code is, and then get the next surrounding area code outside of it that's closest to your dealership. You're going to want to look at a digital retailing tool. Now we're down the road. That's where you can buy a car completely 100% online. I want you guys to know it was 1% before COVID. I'm seeing digital retailing at 3% right now for my clients, and that's best in class, is 3%, okay? But what I am going to tell you is customers start the entire transaction, and then right before they have to do money or credit application, they stop. And if you continue on by talking to them, that is where you're going to sell cars. So use the digital retailing software as a tool. Textable phone lines. You guys, we have textable phone lines. I can't even tell you the responses that we got. Who is this? And if you're like, this is just Sarah. This is just Sara calling from Hoagey Motors. Oh, hi, Sara. If you get textable phone lines for your business, you're going to see your numbers go up because 99% of people read their text messages, and that's how they want to communicate. You need some video cameras. Gaming headsets sound the best. So if you guys have any children, grandchildren, they're using those gaming headsets, ask them if you can borrow it, but they sound fantastic. Text message marketing platforms. That's where you can mass text customers all at once and communicate with them all at once. Hey, we have a special today, 5% off, free oil change. You message it out to all of your clients all at once. Way of the future. Live video software. This is what you really, really need to sell those customers. How many of you guys are getting leads and you're like, oh my gosh, I got another one out of state. What am I going to do with this one? You need to live FaceTime them and give them the option. Hey, you guys want to FaceTime? 10:15? I'll turn on the car. I'll walk you through it. No, it doesn't smell like smoke. I'm in it right now. No, my dog has not been in the car. And you may need a telephone tree. Telephone systems I absolutely love setting up, so if you have problems with your telephone system and you need to know if it's done right, let me know. Let's talk about some realistic workflows. This is what handling a lead looks like in 5 days. A call. A call again if they don't answer. A text message. An email that answers all their questions and mentions the why buy from you reasons. Maybe you guys have a 4.9% rating on Google. You should mention that. Make another same day second phone call attempt. These are the 8 things that you need to do to get someone to engage with you. The second day you need a call or a text, maybe an automated email. Day 3 is another automated email. Day 4 is a call and text. And day 5 is just what is going on with this customer. I have tried to talk to them about 10 different times. Should I continue following up? But what I do want to tell you is salespeople stop on day 2. They do, they're done. On day 2, they're like, I'm done. I have 10 more leads that just came in. So this is what you're going to need to do. You have to go through a very, very strong process in order to get results. And I know it seems like a lot, but if you want to make the most of your advertising, this is what you need to do. These are additional workflows that a CRM can do for you. So a CRM should, and if they can't, we have to talk about it, let me know, but you need the ability to have a different process for your online credit applications, appointment confirmation. You can automate a lot of this through a CRM. Missed appointment reschedule after delivery. Most people keep their cars now 2 or 3 years, and then they want equity. Don't you love the used car factory? They can help you create those people who are like nightmares that are looking for that used car factory vehicle, the out-of-area clients, because we all have them right now. And you can put them in buckets. This customer says they're looking for when they receive their taxes. This customer's looking for when the seasons change. They're 60 days out. This lightly touches on, who knows what predictive analytics and artificial intelligence? Am I way out there? Or are you like, Sarah, we got this, we totally know what you're talking about? Okay. I'm really, really heavy into predictive analytics and artificial intelligence right now. I'm using one that tells me what the household income is, what the hobbies are, if my clients are married, if they're not, if you have equity, if your customer has equity, but they're not my customer, and I want to take them. There's software out there that says, you know what, Sarah? This customer just went on AutoTrader, they just went on Kelley Blue Book, and they just went on Edmunds, and they're looking for an SUV, and they will send it to me, but they're your client. So I'm going to take your client away from you because I'm using predictive analytics and artificial intelligence. And guys, my #1 attribute is I'm competitive and results-based. So you don't want me working against you, okay? Because I'm going to teach your clients how to do that. Engage your equity customers and work with the customers who just left your dealership. They declined the $2,500 service repair. Then they went on and they were looking at a car somewhere else. That's what predictive analytics and artificial intelligence does, is it keeps you keeping your customer right in front of you. So in conclusion, this is what I want you to take away from today. Process is going to dictate your performance. Create a follow-up strategy beyond 3 days. Because your salesperson's done following up on day 2, you need to figure out what you're going to do beyond day 3. I love it when dealers are like, Sarah, I'm advertising everywhere. I'm on AutoTrader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, TrueCar, in the paper, on TV, on radio. And I'm like, well, which one's working for you? I have no idea. Okay, let's focus on your advertising after you have a strategy and a process in place. Focus on that 25 rule to visit. So you want to have lead to visit rule, 25% of your visits to each lead, okay? Somewhere around there. And realize that I'm part of the 4%, okay? So I know I probably just took a lot of people out of their comfort zone. I'm part of that 4% that thrives on change. And 96% of the people really like being in their own comfort zone. So I hope I got to take some of you guys out of there. So, in conclusion, how many of you guys found this useful? Okay, what was something that you took away that you're like, you know what, I'm going to try that? Can anybody tell me? What's something that you're like, I'm going to take this back to my dealership? Answering the phone? That's a big one. Properly. I have a guide. I don't like scripts. I tell people that who get hired in sales, you're hired for a reason, and you were hired because you have a great personality, not because you sound like a script. A guide with their personality will do the best for them and have them ask, may I ask who I have the pleasure of speaking with today? And how do I spell your last name? And what's the best phone number that you can be reached at? Would you rather have someone like that answering the phone or your dentist, right? Okay, what else? What else did someone learn today that they didn't know before? What else did you find useful? What did you find useful?
Calling after within 2 hours after they leave.
Yes.
75%. That was mind-blowing.
Yes. There's nothing better than your client, well, there's nothing worse than your client leaving, but there's something great when you call them and they're at your competitor and you're like, come on back, we'll make it work, and they leave and they come back. 75% of the time you're gonna get that customer back. They only go to 1.2 dealerships. Be the one. Don't be the 0.2, because the 0.2 loses. Be the one. Be the one that they buy from. Okay, who else? What else did you find useful? Tell me.
Textable phone lines.
Textable phone lines.
Your local company will provide.
Yes. It is something your company will provide. So ask them for textable business lines. It's a must. And the first thing you'll get is, who's calling me? Who is this? And the worst part is you don't even know what you're missing because you don't offer it. Our number when I started with textable phone lines was 1 out of every 5. Right now it's 1 out of every 3. Okay? I know I'm data and statistics. Was it like a fire hose? Anybody? Or you're like, thank you for that fire hose first thing in the morning and I didn't even have my coffee yet. So, thank you for having me.